Of things where we've got to improve. I think this football team was disappointed in the way that we played because we did make a lot of mistakes on both sides of the ball, and we can definitely play better. And if that's the level that we want to compete at, we're going to have to turn and improve this week. Things don't get any easier with us having Ball State this week. I think Pete Limbo has done a fantastic job there building confidence. He's a coach that's won everywhere he's been. He won at Lehigh, he won at Elon. He's 1-0 right now at Ball State. You can tell this team is playing with some confidence. They're playing with some energy. They just beat Indiana, a game that nobody gave them a shot at, and it wasn't a fluke. It wasn't a game where they just had a bunch of turnovers or something along those lines. They went out and they just lined up and they beat them on the football field. They did a great job, and this team's playing with a lot of confidence. They're running a no-huddle offense, kind of a quick pace, which is one of the reasons we did what we did in Vero to kind of get our defense ready for it, as I had talked about that before. But I think their quarterback, who was a sophomore, a great baseball player, could have went pretty much anywhere in the country to play baseball, ended up going to Ball State on a football scholarship, and they finish up third down. They're 10 of 14 for 70% on third down. The quarterback is 23 of 29 for his 80% completion percentage. They rushed for 210 yards against a Big Ten team. They controlled the ball for 36 minutes to 23. They had the ball 13 minutes longer than Indiana did. They have 9 returning starters, 5 of them on the offensive line. They're very big up front. They're very strong up front. They had a 0 turnover type of game. When I look at them as an offense and you put on the film, Ball State is a good football team, and you can see the confidence that they're playing with. They have a freshman running back that's about 235 pounds and a sophomore quarterback that is putting up some pretty big numbers, and they're doing a really nice job, and that team has really rallied around them, and they're playing with a lot of confidence as an offensive football team. On the defensive side of the ball, they have 8 returning starters there. They are a pressure defense, very different than what we saw last week. Their pressure defense, they'll bring a lot from the field, from the boundary. They try and make something happen. They are they say they're not going to let a quarterback sit back there and get after them. They do a lot of different things defensively. This will be much more of a scheme game than it was a week ago. A week ago, you knew exactly where they were lining up, but you had to block them. And they were huge up front as far as Notre Dame. This one's a little different. They're not quite as big up front, but they do return 3 starters up front. The fourth one is a young sophomore, ended up having 2 sacks and was the MAC player of the week last week for his defensive performance. Their linebackers are very active, and they can do what they do because they have 3 senior safeties that are very involved in the back end. So they're a big pressure defense, but they're not a lot of man, and they sit back. Their field goal unit is very good. They were 2 out of 2 this week, and their punter averaged 44.7, almost 45 yards a punt. So this is a very good Ball State football team. I told the football team they had 24 hours to enjoy the Notre Dame win. And then that one was over. We watched the film on Sunday night. We put it to bed, and it's on to Ball State. It's going to take a lot of focus this week, and we're going to really have to be dialed in with what we have to do. But we have to get better as a football team. We feel very fortunate to have won the game, and we did the things we needed to do to win. We turned the ball over. We made some plays on defense. We protected it on offense, and we played solid on special teams. But on both offense and defense, we are not as good as we need to be right now to get to where we want to be.